Welcome to another recording from Purposefully Becoming. Of course, I am your empowerment coach, Coach Anita, and I'm glad that you have tuned in for another episode. I actually just finished recording on my lives, Facebook and Instagram. I'm trying to get more out there, give the people a little bit more FaceTime action instead of always being behind the camera doing content creation. Because, of course, I want you guys to be able to connect and know who you're talking to and be confident in this space and my ability to serve you. So what I talked about on the lives that I actually wanted to capture for the YouTube channel was closed doors. Today I got two forms of confirmation about doors closing in your life. And we all know doors close because a season has ended. The reason that thing or that situation or that home, that job, that relationship, whatever it is that you're holding so tightly to, that oftentimes define you, that oftentimes is such a big portion of your life that you can't see yourself without, that door closes and you are standing there looking at the door confused as to why. And it's funny because I needed the confirmation today, because as I continue to get pulled and pushed and I'm doing the spiritual work of healing, developing, and growing as an individual so that I am even more effective and efficient as an empowerment coach for women, creating content and writing books and all the different things and creating courses and all those things, there is also work being done for me. And so a lot of me is pouring into the things that I am doing for everyone else. And the confirmation I got today was really that I stood a little too long at the doors that were closed. And I think a lot of us are guilty of that. And it's for a lot of reasons. It's because we are not certain as to why. We want answers as to why that door has closed on us. We want an understanding. And what I have also learned is that even when that door is closed and we know why, because we didn't take an active role in closing it, we can't let go. Because the center, I like to say our source, and I always say this because a lot of people are religious, a lot of people are not religious, a lot of people are spiritual, a lot of people are not spiritual, and I am very much a spiritual person, even if I'm not as religious as I used to be. I like to stay connected to my source, and at times my source, who is Jesus, he'll do things in my life and I'm not okay with it. And then I'll have conversations with him like, so Lord, explain that to me. Because I am not the child that is not going to ask. And so there are a lot of times in those situations where those doors close and I am very troubled by it. I am not able to deal with the fact that that door has closed. And I need answers as to why that season ended in my life. And so I've stood at those doors, knocking, I've even cracked some of them and peeked in, even though I knew I ain't had no business doing it. And that has caused more heartache and pain than if I would have just walked away from the door. It has even created situations where I've walked away with more baggage than I would have had if I would have just left the thing alone when I was initially denied access to it. So I think it's important for me to just put out there that we always hear that a denial is not a delay. But a denial is a cut off of something in your life in that moment that has served its complete purpose for you and is no longer for you. And you have to understand that. This is no longer serving me. This is no longer allowing me to grow as a person. This is no longer impactful. This is no longer something that I can hold because it's going to the next level of my life with me. This is not something that is growing with you so that you can grow as a person. And sometimes you can't grow at all while you still have it, while you still have access to it. And so that's where a lot of the pain, a lot of the heartache, a lot of the burdens that you take from things that have been taken away from you, they take up resonance because not only are you holding on to it and increasing the level of discomfort in your life because of it, but you can't get to your next level because you're holding on to something that you should have been let go of. And that is a painful lesson, especially for someone like me who desires the control. I desire the control that comes along with my situations. And many of us are, especially sort of type A-ish. I'm sort of type A-ish. Sort of type A-ish. And so relinquishing control of things is very difficult for me, especially because I feel like it can't be done the way that I would do it. And that creates a lot of problems too. So I stand at a lot of doors and I'm standing there like, no, I don't understand. Like, I didn't ask for it to end. I didn't want it to end. And so when we seek those answers that may not come then, sometimes you may never see why that thing came along and disrupted and created some sort of chaos in your life, but it's disrupting and causing chaos because you won't let it go. So learn to let go of things more and understand that a closed door is just an opportunity for you to move on to something better that is designed for you to help you be the person that you will be on the next level of your life. I know you hear it all the time, but everything and everyone is not designed to go with you every place that you're going. So when a door closes, that part of your journey is over. It's over. It's done. It's finished. And I don't want people to wait too long to accept that fact that it's over and done. It's finished. So I thought that was really interesting to share because I too have had to unpack loads of baggage from things that I just could not accept. I just could not agree. And so the moment that I decided to kind of release, and that's the other thing that I did, I actually at the top of 2017, when the new year came in, and I actually am not a New Year's resolution type of person because there are a bunch of things that you should be doing all along. Oh, I'm gonna lose weight. Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Health and wellness and self-care is something we should do all the time, and it shouldn't take the top of a year to have us decide that we're going to do certain things for ourselves. But it works for some people, so have at it. It's just not for me. But at the top of 2017, my prayer going into the new year was just that God give me the ability to release anything that wasn't for me so that I could move into my purpose. Because at that time, I didn't know what it was. I wasn't clear in my head what it was I was actually supposed to be doing. So it didn't take long for him to answer me because he just started moving things out of the way. And I just decided to be obedient because it was the prayer that I prayed. The prayer that I prayed to say, I just don't want anything else that's going to stop me from being my best self, from living my best life. I didn't want anything else that was going to be in my way. So that meant I had to release a lot of things. And it was painful. It was hurtful. It was not something that I would write home about or send out any postcards because it was a painful release. But the release of it all is why I'm able to sit here today and be an empowerment coach for women, because now I understand why those things had to be stripped from my life. And the fact that I was sitting in a space for so long and it was creating more and more and more for me to have to deal with and release and handle, as opposed to if I would have just let it go when I knew I needed to let it go. So many other things came from it. And so there are things that I have to face, things that I have to deal with. And that's why I can say to you, don't stand at a door that is closed. Be willing to walk away because you know that what you're walking into is better than what you're leaving behind. And even if it doesn't end on a sour note or it's not a bad, cut off, just don't hold it. Just appreciate it for what it was and keep moving. And that's so important to do. I'm telling you, one of the biggest losses of my life was my dad and my house. And they didn't happen too far apart from each other. Not really in respect of time. They didn't really, one happened one year, one happened the other year. And so, or was in the process of happening right after. And a lot of lessons came from that. But even in the process of losing my dad, I was standing at a door that I should have walked away from, and it stopped us from having the type of relationship we should have had before he suddenly got sick and he passed. So then, those are things you have to deal with. Or even the fact that as I was releasing this house, I held on to the house for a long time before I said, okay, I was already told to let it go, but I wanted to hold it. So today I sit here in a different space, in a different environment, as a different woman. Because the confirmation that I got today and what I'm telling you guys about now has helped me be the woman that you see. Because I wasn't this woman 6 months ago. And I am almost 100% sure that I won't be this woman you see today 6 months from now. Because I'm allowing whatever is not for me, and every door that was closed, I'm taking every lesson and I'm leaving the baggage and I'm moving forward. So I'm telling you because I know what you need to do, because I didn't initially do it. And so here I stand, a better woman, with a lesson for you. Denial is not a delay. Every blessing that is meant for you, you will have. You will have it when you realize that all this other stuff isn't significant and your arms are open to everything else that's ahead of you. So I hope that was helpful to you all. It was helpful to me today. It was confirmation that was something that I needed to share, because it was something that I have struggled with greatly in this life. I am not a patient woman, nor do I like no. I do not like no. I do not like to have to figure out why something isn't what I think it should be. Because, there was a time where I really understood my power before I forgot about it. The power that's in me to manifest the things that I really want in my life. We all own it, but we can't activate until we know the truth. And one day that was gone because I was trying to will things that weren't lined up with my purpose and what God had planned for me. So keep that in mind. And wrapping up the lesson for this week, don't forget to head over to Facebook, to the Facebook group, and Purposefully Becoming members. It's Purposefully Be space coming. There's a questionnaire for you to answer, and you can get into the group so you can come hang out with us for Coffee and Convo, which is on the first and third Saturdays of every month starting this Saturday. Head over to Spreadshirt and get your Purposefully Becoming mug so you can be a part of the team. All those details are at www.purposefullybecomingwithoutthee.com. There you can, and actually you'll see the link down here. That is the website address where you can go hop on the mailing list if you are not on it. So that way you are able to stay abreast of all things happening. I have a workshop coming up soon. I have a lot going on. So much good stuff happening with the company. Right now, as I'm growing, I'm getting ready to head out of town to start my prerequisite for my certification. So I'm super excited about that. I have a training course getting ready to come out. So that is super exciting. Of course, always personal development. I always want to be myself. So I'm giving you guys the very best that I can give. And so don't forget, just get on the mailing list. That'll be your conduit to everything that's happening. I send out the newsletter, my brain. I send out the newsletter every Monday morning at 6:30. So you are missing out on all the content if you are not on that mailing list. And that's it for the week. I did a podcast this week. Head over to SoundCloud for Words from the B-Side. I talk a little bit more about other things besides just empowering you there. So you get a little bit of insight into some things that I like to talk about. Some different sides of Miss B. So head over there, subscribe. You will not regret it. And if this is your first time watching me on YouTube, watch all those other videos that are down there. I hope you will gain something. You should gain something. Share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel. Head over to Facebook, and I will see you guys on Saturday.